Hello, I'm Helen from Journal with Purpose and welcome to my latest YouTube video. Today I'm going to be sharing a flip through of my completed junk journal. I actually set this one up ready for Junk Journal July and I've used it through all of that month, August, and it just got me into the beginning of September too. So I used some green cardstock for the cover and I then used a printable from Pink Monarch Prints on the front, and I've just got quite a simple binding there. And I've covered the inside again with a printable and just popped the prompts in for Junk Journal July there. Most of the printables in here are from Pink Monarch Prints and I'll definitely leave them linked down below. So I really enjoyed working through those prompts and just interpreting them in my own way. And I really enjoy adding writing to just about all of my journal pages. For me, that's something that's quite important, even if it's hidden journaling or just a quote or a few thoughts. So here I've used watercolour on a book page, and here I used some gesso with black stamping over the top. I also really like adding little cards and things that I've been sent. So this was a note from Stamford Notebook Company, just really nice to have them all in that journal. And this was a printable from Emma Durran's shop. Again, I'll leave that link down below. And she's got all these kind of doilies and napkin type printables. And so I actually sewed these into the binding of the journal. This was the front of a greetings card. I think it was actually sent to me by my mum. So I just cut the front of that off so that I could use that beautiful image in here and just made a little writing spot along the bottom. Again here, some more gesso, and then I used watercolour over the top, but I often use gesso if I've got quite thin paper but I want to be able to add some kind of artwork on top. This one was a little collage. And this I added later. You can usually tell if it's got some washi tape along the side. And this was actually a gift voucher from Jackson's Art that I received for my birthday from my sister. And I just loved that printed and kind of vintage look to it. So I added that in as another lovely little piece of interest in my journal. And so this one again, you can see I've added in later. And I've put a little tuck spot here, added some stenciling behind and another little journaling card. This was a book page and then I used a decorative punch along the side, and I really like that because I can see that beautiful printable behind it too. Here I used some watercolour on Cardi watercolour paper and just glued that in. And I've got a little pocket here, again with some more writing inside. This is another thing I really like doing, is adding some black paint and some white pen on top. I really like the boldness that gives, and the prompt for that day was contrast, so that worked really well. Another little pocket, I've got a circular punch which I used just to punch the circle or half a circle out of the top of that, and I then decorated another tag using coloured pencil this time, and again wrote on the back of there. This paper doily again was sewn into the actual binding. I like using a bigger variety as papers as I can in my journals. I just think it adds so much interest, and I really like them all being different heights and widths too, because when your journal's open you can see hints of so many different pages. This was some Tim Holtz scrapbooking paper. And then this one was a printable from Minnie Small's Patreon, one of the Happy Mails that she sent out. Again, just like adding a little bit of stenciling and creating some spaces to add writing. And all of these again are from Pink Monarch Prints. And I filmed one of the videos using their printables actually when I was setting some of these pages up. And some of them I mount on cardstock and some I just leave as papers. For me, it's just a really lovely place to be able to look through my stickers, stamps, stenciling, and put them all to good use in here. I also like really trying to reflect the seasons a little bit as well, if I can, as we move through kind of the different weather and the different colour palettes that I see outside my window. And this was a thank you card that was sent to me by Robin Marie after I appeared on her podcast. So again, just anything really which arrives, which has some meaning to me during the time that I'm using the journal, I find a way of popping it in here. Here we went to a shop that was stocking some beautiful papers and prints by a local illustrator. So I picked up one of her business cards as well as some of her papers and popped that in here as a nice reminder. This again is one of Emma Durran's printables, so this time I used it in a slightly different way and just added it again as 2 writing spots on the side there. This was another thank you card from Lisa at the Lollipop Box Club after I ordered one of her kits. I find it adds so much meaning being able to put all of these extra little details into our journals. And these stickers were their images cut from London Gifties tape. So again, any images you see like that tend to come from there. So we've got the back of the doily that was sewn into the binding. And I just really enjoy trying to get creative and find ways of using all these different papers. And this again was from somewhere local that we visited. There wasn't actually any space to use it for writing, but I just thought it was so beautiful that I picked it up when we visited there. Really lovely reminder of visiting them and having a walk around their orchard. And this was a postcard from Christine at London Gifties. These journals just hold so much sentimental meaning to me, as well as having some just written thoughts on the day, just all the little mementos from days out. It can even be things that arrive in the post. It doesn't have to be anything huge, just all those lovely little bits which make up the good days. So that's very nearly at the end of the journal. Oh yeah, I visited a flower farm recently, absolutely beautiful, and picked up a bouquet of flowers, and this was on the wrapping, so I tore that straight off and put that in my journal too. And then finally, again, somewhere else that we'd visited, a little brochure and map and things in there that I just really wanted to keep in that journal because it all belongs to that time period. Well, I really hope you've enjoyed seeing my junk journal and how I use it. It's one of the questions I get asked so much about is how to actually use junk journals, and I certainly always do with mine. I always find ways of adding writing and things that are really meaningful to me. So I really hope you enjoyed that. As always, I want to say a massive thank you to everybody who's joined me over on Patreon. Thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you're doing really well, and I look forward to speaking with you really soon in my next video.